I have seen this over and over again for contractors that are doing over $2 million a year, even closer to the $5 million a year range. And it is that on paper, your jobs look super profitable. I'm talking about they're juicy, bleeding with profit. Like you're, okay, I'm ready to take that vacation to the Bahamas this summer. On paper, your jobs probably look extremely profitable. But when you go back and actually take the time to look at how much time and resources you have poured into your pre-construction, the truth is you are actually starting every single project at a loss. And that loss right there is the reason why I'm making this video, is because that loss compounds over 6 figures year on year if you don't actually address it. And yes, this applies specifically for the contractors that look or feel like they're doing really well because they post really high revenue numbers every year. But once you take a look at the P&L, it shows different. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lev Parsegian. I'm the founder of Cosmosify, a consulting agency that basically helps general contractors, remodelers, and custom home builders bring order to their businesses so that they can make more money and enjoy the companies that they run. That being said, in today's video, I specifically want to talk about what I feel like is one of the most common leaks, because this leak has to do with something that is not so tangible, and that is your attention, okay? So I want to talk about this leak here and share some things with you guys here on the screen. So I'm going to kind of work through this live with y'all, but the word that I'm going to put up here is pre-construction, okay? And so I want to discuss it in this way. So the first leak is absorbing pre-construction costs without planning to actually recover them, okay? So I want you to think about this for a second. Before you even have a signed contract or a signed agreement, you visit the site, right? You take measurements, you call your subs, you coordinate design concepts a lot of times. Sometimes you borderline become a designer, right? And then you'll build this detailed estimate for your client. Now, all of this is fine, but the truth is that it takes a lot of time and money in order to actually execute on those things and to do it in a way where you can actually confidently secure the job. And so I want to kind of break this down and just kind of give some hypothetical numbers here. So let's just say you have a client, and this client's name is John Hanks, okay? And John Hanks, the type of job that he has, let's just say, is going to be a full home remodel. Okay. And you look at it and you're like, okay, this is cake. We do full home remodels all the time. In fact, this could probably be a super profitable job. On paper, again, or in your mind rather, this does look like it could be a hot opportunity. But I want to break a couple of things down. So let's just say you spend 3 hours on a site visit. Okay, and believe it or not, I've seen guys spend up to, between 2 appointments, they could spend, close to 8 hours doing site visits. And that's a reality. So let's just say 3 hours, okay? Let's just call it 3. 3 hours on site visits. Okay. And then you actually have to put together the estimate. And if you don't have a solid estimating process in place, we're going to call this, say, I'll call it 6 hours on detailed estimate. Okay. And then let's go ahead and also say that you're going to do, 2 hours just in vendor communication. Okay. So you're just going to be chasing subcontractors down for numbers. And that's going to take more or less like 2, maybe 3 hours, or who knows, maybe you're super tight with your subs and that's not as much the case. But so let's go over here. I'll do 2 hours on sub chasing. So now let's just say that your loaded overhead, that means your time plus your overhead, is $150 an hour. Just looking at this, guys, you've already spent over $1,500 on pre-construction before you even have a commitment from the client. And oftentimes, I'm going to be like super real with y'all, these are what I consider to be pretty freaking conservative figures here, okay? 3, 6, and 2. I mean, I see guys who are so darn inefficient because they are so just like, oh, you know what? I want to win the sale. I want to win the sale, more revenue into the business. Once I bring more cash into the business, I really don't have to worry about, the next 4 months, 5 months, whatever. The truth is that these types of John Hanks clients cost you guys a ton of money because of how incredibly inefficient you are and how inefficient you run your processes. Now, that's not your fault, okay? The industry has not necessarily taught you guys to run efficient estimating or pre-construction processes. In fact, a lot of times it's just a matter of see it, bid it, sign it. And that doesn't necessarily work nowadays because of how much time you have to put in to actually get the job, okay? Especially for bigger jobs. So now let's just imagine that you do all of this, okay, with a John Hanks, and we're going to multiply this actually by 20, okay? You're doing this 20 times, okay, per year. Sound familiar? Yeah, because you are probably doing this close to between 15 to 20 times a year. And the truth is that maybe you're only even closing, 20 to 30% of all of the efforts that you're putting in. And so that's on an estimate. We're talking about if you're closing 30% of them, that's at least like $21,000 in unrecovered costs. And so I actually want to share a story about not John Hanks, but a contractor that I have been working with for a long time. And prior to us working together, he had told me that one of his biggest issues was the fact that he was giving so much of his time up for all of these tasks before a project even signs, because of the fact that he thought, okay, if I just put in more work into the client, that will help me build my credibility and my trust, and ultimately they will end up signing with me just because of all the time that I've put in with them. But the truth is that when you do things like this, you are teaching your client not to value your time. If you do not put a value on your time, nobody is going to do it for you. People will naturally take advantage of it because of the fact that you've not set up boundaries for yourself and for your business to protect it and keep it profitable. Okay? And so part of the reason why I'm telling this story is because this is indeed the reality for so many contractors, right? And in fact, it's most of the time even worse than this. I'm just trying to be conservative. Okay, and so I want to share what happened when this contractor I'm talking about actually changed this. He started charging for this exact same thing, pre-construction services, okay? And just by charging for pre-construction services, he was able from the beginning actually to lay out how much it was going to cost to bid on the project and to put together a detailed estimate and put together design concepts and kind of help them maneuver as it relates to feasibility and things like that for the actual build. And he was getting paid anywhere between, on the lower end, like smaller projects, $3,500, up until $15K for certain types of projects, right? And the reason why this works so well, guys, is because you're not selling an estimate. You're selling an actual service. This is your entry level, your entry offer, almost like a paid lead magnet to nurture your client and get them into the door so they can experience you. So that way they can make an informed decision when it actually comes to, committing to building with you. And I love this so much because it solves so many of the profit leaks that take place within a business. But basically, if you're not charging for the time that you are putting in, and you are putting in a significant amount of time, you are going to see eventually that you're going to be more burnt out, and the types of clients that you're going to be attracting are not going to be people who actually respect the time that you put in to the project if and when they do end up signing on with you. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think that I need to make this a super long video. And if you guys enjoy these types of videos and want to hear more of these daily lessons that I get from working with multi-seven-figure contractors in our partner contractor portfolio, then great. Stick around, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys. Peace.